you for coming. The gentleman from Fairfax, Ms. Filler-Corn.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I rise for a request, a motion, a point of personal privilege, an introduction, a second motion, and finally an announcement. I'm so sorry. I promise it won't be very long, Mr. Speaker.
This is the busiest day of the year. We have more on the calendar than we can possibly deal with, but go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I request the clerk to call up out of order Memorial Resolution 261 on page 43 of the calendar.
Clerk will report a resolution.
House Resolution number 261, celebrating the life of Stephen E. Beck, Jr.
Gentleman from Fairfax.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move the adoption of the resolution.
As many as favor adoption of the resolution will please rise. Resolution is agreed to.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My point of personal privilege.
The gentleman has the floor.
Mr. Speaker, members of the House, the resolution we just adopted was in memory of the late Stephen Beck. Stephen Beck was a constituent of mine, and unfortunately for me, I did not have the opportunity to personally meet him. Stephen was a passionate supporter of people with disabilities who touched countless lives through his actions and his advocacy. Stephen was a devoted father of a child with Down syndrome, Natalie, and he advocated and fought over an 8-year period for the passage of the Stephen Beck Jr. Achieving a Better Life Experience, ABLE Act of 2014, which enables individuals with disabilities and their families to establish tax-free savings accounts for education, medical, job training, housing, or transportation expenses. The ABLE Act was passed the United States House of Representatives with overwhelming support on December 3rd, 2014, with Stephen Beck in attendance, and subsequently passed the United States Senate and was signed into law in 2014. After Stephen's death, the ABLE Act was renamed in Stephen Beck's honor, and his daughter Natalie will be one of the first beneficiaries of the ABLE account, fulfilling his mission to not only secure a better future for his daughter, but to help others and do the same for their children. Just yesterday, we in this body passed the Virginia version of the ABLE Act, authoring our 529 program to begin setting up the framework for these important accounts to be made available here in the Commonwealth of Virginia. And thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for your support on this important bill. Stephen unfortunately passed away on December 8th, 2014, and is missed terribly by his family and friends. I want to personally thank Stephen for his advocacy and his tenacity and long journey to achieve the opportunity for individuals with disabilities. He is a true hero for so many, and his legacy will live on through these ABLE accounts. Mr. Speaker, now for an introduction. That's okay. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, ladies and gentlemen of the House, joining us in the gallery today is Stephen Beck's wife, Catherine Beck. I would ask her to rise. And also here on behalf of the National Down Syndrome Society is Tracy and Steve Legank and their adorable son, Nicholas, who many of us have met as they have spent considerable time here in Richmond sharing their personal story in support of the ABLE Act here in the Commonwealth of Virginia as well as D.C. I would ask that members of this body give them a warm house welcome.
We are truly honored to have you with us today, and we thank you for all that you have done and continue to do in your community across the Commonwealth. Thank you for being here today.
Mr. Speaker, for my second motion, I move that when the House adjourn today, you adjourn in the memory and honor of Stephen E. Beck, Jr.
The gentlewoman from Fairfax, Ms. Filler-Corn, moves when the House adjourn today and adjourn in the honor and the memory of Stephen E. Beck. As many as favor that motion will please rise. That motion is agreed to.